Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today what I want to talk about with these two pinball machines that I always get a lot of questions and comments on is now that I have a full-on Rec Room Worlds 4KP, virtual pinball machine that has, like, it's basically the Ferrari of pinballs where it has every single toy inside, when it comes to surround sound feedback, solenoids, shaker motors, all that stuff is all here. Why would I still have the AtGames 4KP? What am I still using it for? And what would be the purpose of owning both? And that's kind of what I wanted to address in this video. Talk about why I still use both and why I still play both all the time, depending on what game I want to play. So we're going to get into that in this video to make it a little bit clearer for you guys on why someone like me would want to own both of these, and maybe you guys may fall in the same boat. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so we're going to start first with the AtGames Legends 4KP. Now obviously the main reason that I use these machines, and I still have both of these, is because they all have exclusives on their own retrospective machines. You guys are seeing right now some Sea of Thieves right here in front of you, and the gameplay that Sea of Thieves offer. That's the newest table that came on here. You can't play Sea of Thieves anywhere else, and Sea of Thieves is their best table that Magic Pixel has made for the 4KP, which leads me to believe that hopefully they're now in a good trajectory of making better and better games. Really, the only complaint I had with Sea of Thieves is just the fact that I wish the DMD took advantage of the DMD a little bit more and made a little bit fancier graphics as opposed to using, their regular stuff that they usually use, and make it a little bit more animated and call outs to the games and videos on the DMD. So maybe that's something they'll do in the future. But as far as the gameplay and the actual playfield, they knocked it out of the park in my opinion with Sea of Thieves. It really does feel like I'm playing the Sea of Thieves game, because I actually did play Sea of Thieves back in the day a lot. So it definitely feels like I'm in that world all over again, trying to collect treasure chests, go to different islands, try to cash them in at the outpost. Before you drain your ball, which is essentially wrecking your ship and stuff like that. It is really cool. They have a variety of modes in there, and you can't play that anywhere else. And I would have been mad if I couldn't play that, because I'm a Sea of Thieves fan. And they're obviously, that's the first game out of the pack. They have other games that are coming out, like the Killer Instinct and Battletoads, and we all know Killer Instinct and we all know Battletoads. If they do as good of a job on those two games as they did Sea of Thieves to make me feel like I'm playing in Killer Instinct and battling someone and fighting someone, and they do as good of a job in Battletoads, I mean, I don't want to miss playing those games, because they're unique games. It's the same reason why I own an Xbox and why I have a PlayStation. It's because unique games come out on each platform and you want to play them on those platforms. Or, the reason why people owned a PlayStation 2 back in the day and an Xbox 360 or whatever, or a PlayStation 3, whatever the case may be. It's because there was unique games that came out for both of these. And then, same thing over here. Even though the AtGames Legends 4KP is a great starter machine, and you could play a lot of these VPX tables on here if you add a computer and do OTG, which I highly encourage everybody to do, because you're going to have the same thing I have going on here. Even with just the AtGames Legends 4KP, you can still play a lot of these tables that are on here. You're not going to play them as well. You're not going to, get the bells and whistles that this machine has, with the fire button, with the LED lights, with the flashers in the back, with the chasers down the middle, with the gear motor that's inside of this, with the shaker motor. All that stuff is, of course, not in the 4KP, because it only has solenoids in there and surround sound feedback. But that still gives you a relatively good experience for the relative price that you're paying. So I would urge a lot of people who have the AtGames Legends 4K to really dive into OTG when they get the time, if they have a computer that they can pawn up and put it in there, because the whole world of VPX is out there for you to explore, and Future Pinball, which is the table that's being featured here. This is the latest table that just came out. This is Masters of the Universe here that I was just playing before this video, the latest one from Terry Red, and it's outstanding. And I'd be, I follow all those forum reports and stuff, and it really would be disappointing if a game comes out, whether it would be for AtGames for Sea of Thieves, or whether it would be Masters of the Universe here on the machine that I have, if I couldn't play them, because I like playing pinball in general. I like playing real pinball machines with my real pinballs over there. I like playing virtual pinball across the board. It doesn't matter if it's on the AtGames, that maybe the hardware is not as good, and it's obviously not going to look as good as the 4K tables will look like in here with the screen, the GPU that's obviously running the AtGames tables, unless if you add your own PC. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, virtual pinball is just fun. And I have no problem playing Sea of Thieves on this smaller 32-inch table or things like the new Natural History Pack 2 that just came out. I was just playing that, and the Nature's Fury table is fantastic. It's really, really fun. Love the lightning effects that they have on there. I think this is the best pack that they've made out of the natural history tables as well. This is easily my favorite of the three. And there's a good variety of gameplay that they have on there with doing new things. And the surround sound feedback on the AtGames when you add the SSF kit is amazing. It is really, really good on how much it thumps, and now that all these tables, including these Zen tables, are actually taking advantage of the SSF kit, the tables really do sing on there with that SSF kit, and it really does feel really good to play. I don't feel like I'm getting a hugely different sound quality with this one versus the other. This one's much louder, but the surround sound kit on here is also really, really good in its own right. It's not going to be as good as this one because this one has many things that it has with haptic feedback and stuff, but I don't feel like I'm getting such a massive downgrade when it comes to sound quality with the AtGames, because they did a good job with that SSF kit, and it still makes me feel enthralled into the gameplay, which at the end of the day is what it's all about. It's about the games, it's about the gameplay. And when it comes to, you know, playing things like on this machine, it would be the same thing. If I couldn't play my tables that I love, like Ghostbusters and Stranger Things and all those other tables that VPX is known for, it'd be pretty disappointing. I think a lot of people would be disappointed if they couldn't play those types of games on here. So I use both all the time because, like I said, on the AtGames Legends 4K, there's not only those great games that I just talked about, like Sea of Thieves and that the Natural History Pack 3. There's a bunch of other games too, like the Peanuts table that this is on, all the other exclusives that I can't play anywhere else, and there's going to be more exclusives releasing going forward. I love playing them on there. I actually download all my Zen pinball tables on this one as well, as opposed to playing them on here, because they're specifically tailor-made with the Zen Pinball to work on there, so things look really good. And I actually don't have any of the Zen Pinball FX tables installed on there. I only have Pinball FX3 and FX2 installed on this machine, at least for the time being, because it's easier to play on there, and I just buy them on there, and I'm supporting Zen with their tables, and then I get to play them, you know, where it's tailor-made for the SSF kit, and it's tailor-made for that screen, and it's tailor-made for the DMD and stuff. And yes, it's not going to be as good graphic quality as it would be on this machine, and it wouldn't be as good with the feedback and toys, but it still works really, really well on there, and I still have a lot of fun playing them regardless. And then you got to talk about the fact that there's leaderboards on there. On here, when I play on this machine, I'm always playing against myself. I'm always playing against friends at home, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing. I love trying to catch my own leaderboard. My friend came over the other day and played World Cup soccer, and I'm still trying to beat his score. And he's on the leaderboard forever because, of course, it saves high scores, and you see it on the DMD when you start up the game and be like, I got to beat that friend's score. And that's awesome. And the AtGames has that as well, where it has local leaderboards that are popping up, as you can see there with the Sea of Thieves of all the scores I set here recently. You could do the same thing on the AtGames one, but the AtGames also has online leaderboards. So it gives you that little bit of incentive to try and chase those high scores online, especially when you recognize people in the community. I think that's a pretty big deal. When I see people on there like Michael B. the Game Genie or P-Dubs or all those other people out there who are playing these machines, it is pretty fun to try and get their high scores and try and beat them and see if you can, you know, pass them and stuff like that, which is not something that you feel like you're a part of. You don't feel like you're a part of a community when you're playing these tables. It feels like you just have a machine on your own. So that's the other perk where I like AtGames, where I have an online leaderboard to chase. But there's no doubt in my mind that if I can only keep one, it would 100% be this one here. I mean, that's not a conversation at all. I talked about it in my review. Nothing compares to this machine. It is everything I wanted it to be. The 4K screen looks fantastic. All the toys that this has inside, the surround sound feedback, the LED lights and everything, all actually working with the games and stuff. You know, and having access to all of these games, playing VR on here, which I haven't really touched a lot about yet. I did do a short on it, but I still got to do a video on that. Playing VR and playing pinball in VR is amazing. Especially, more importantly, which I couldn't do the same way on the AtGames, when you're using the actual interface to play it. So it's not just about playing VR tables that are visual pinball. It's the fact that while I'm playing pinball in VR, I can use the flipper buttons. I can feel the surround sound feedback. I can use these buttons, and I can still hear everything going on with the gear motor and everything on all the toys being used on this machine, which really makes you feel like not only are you playing on a real machine, but then you have the 3D depth that VR offers. So, like I said, nothing will compare to this machine, and if I had to get rid of one over the other, it'd easily be the AtGames. But at the same time, if I don't have to get rid of one, I'm not going to, because I'm having a blast playing on both. So I usually turn actually these machines on at the same time, and I usually play a few rounds of whatever I feel like playing here, whether it be Sea of Thieves lately, or whether it be the Natural History Pack 3 that just came out, and all the future tables that they have going on. I'll play some of those, and then I'll play on this table as well and go back and forth. And yes, this table's much better. The screen's much bigger at a 50-inch screen over here versus a 32, and it's obviously very noticeable, and the fact that these DMD screens are huge. But to me, it's all about the games, and if the games are fun, I'm still going to have a good time. It's the reason that I have a million other arcade machines in this house. Some arcade machines are better than other. Some screen sizes are bigger than other. Some controls are better than other. But at the end of the day, it's about the games that are on there and what's fun. So hopefully that answers everyone's questions about why I have both of these machines. Like I said, to wrap up, final thoughts here. The AtGames has online leaderboards, which makes me feel a part of the community and makes me have something to chase even when my friends aren't here playing, which is awesome. The AtGames has exclusive tables that you can't play anywhere else, and they're getting better and better. The Sea of Thieves ones is a prime example of them getting better and better. The Zen tables are on there, which is where I prefer to play them because they're tailor-made for the SSF kit now, finally, and they're tailor-made for that screen in the DMD, and I'm having a blast playing those on there with the new FX tables that are releasing on that. And even though it's not as good as this one, the SSF kit does really bring it to life, and it really makes it a very good visual pinball table experience that you have on there with virtual pinball, especially for the price that you pay on this. You got to remember that the price that I paid on that, on the AtGames Legends, you can get one of these sometimes for like $1,100, $1,200. Add the SSF kit, maybe you're at 15. You know, a machine like this costs like upwards of 10 grand. So you're getting 10 times the least value over here, but you're getting a really good experience. Is it as good as this one? No, not by a long shot, but it's still a really good virtual pinball machine. It's not like I'm not having fun, and it's not like if I didn't own this one that I'd be disappointed with the AtGames. So, and then of course on this one, on the flip side of that, I love this one because of all the toys, and it makes it feel more like a real virtual pinball table because you have the gear motor and the solenoids going off. You have the fire button. You have all the LED lights working with the game. You have a gigantic screen that makes you feel like you're enthralled on there. It's running an actual PC in there, GPU with a 4070, so it actually has the graphics to run these tables at real high 4K resolution as opposed to the AtGames one that looks good but nowhere near as good as a true 4K monitor does. With the games running in true 4K. And then, of course, it's the VR stuff, the fact that I can use this table and still feel all the toy feedback while I'm playing VR. That's never going to happen because there's not as many toys on the AtGames. Also sets it apart. So, at the end of the day, both of these machines are not going anywhere. I may eventually move the AtGames because it's a small machine into another room and maybe get another full-size pinball machine here later on because I found out I can fit it even though that pipe's in the way and I didn't know I could, but I could by just getting shorter legs. So that may be something I do at some point in the future. I don't know. So it may move somewhere else, even though I like having all my pinball machines in this room because then everyone knows where to play it. But like I said, it is really, really fun to own both of these, and I'm having a blast owning both. No regrets on either one of these at all. And that's all that matters is I play these. These are the two machines I play the most in my house right now. Right now, in the last 2 months, the most machines that I play are in order would be these two machines kind of side by side, then my real pinball machine side by side over there, then my Polycade behind you, and then my 4-player machine over there, and then my racing cab probably over there. Those are probably the top 5 in my house right now. But I still play them all. You know, sometimes I'll play the gun cabinet, sometimes I'm playing Golden Tee, sometimes I'm playing Buck Hunter. It just depends on my mood. But the point is that everything is fun if the games are good, and I'm having a blast, and I'm super happy and super thankful that I'm even able to own these machines and have fun with them because I know, you know, that's not everyone's option. So you got to enjoy what you have and really be thankful for everything that you've been able to get. So anyways, guys, if that hopefully answers everything. If you guys have any questions about anything I've shown in today's video, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.